JBN, we keep you informed. Two shot dead in separate East Kingston incidents. Investigators have launched a probe into the fatal shooting of a man and a woman during separate incidents in the Kingston Eastern Police Division on Wednesday. The deceased have been identified as 25-year-old Ramon Sampson and Hilda Gordon. Shortly after 10 a.m., Sampson was on Victoria Avenue when he was attacked by gunmen. Miss Gordon was shot by gunmen along Windward Road about 7 o'clock Wednesday evening. 11-year-old boy dies after being hit by a car in Hanover. An 11-year-old boy died as a result of injuries he received when he was hit by a motor car along the Sandy Bay Main Road in Hanover on Thursday. He has been identified as Damian Simpson, otherwise called Junior of Bogue Hill, St. James. The Sandy Bay police report that about 3:30 p.m., Damian was crossing the roadway when he was hit by a motor car that was traveling towards Lucy. He sustained injuries and was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The driver of the motor vehicle was warned for prosecution. His vehicle was also seized. Jamaican man gets 2-year prison sentence, fined $1 million for revenge porn involving American TV anchor. The Jamaican man, who admitted to posting nude pictures and videos of his ex-girlfriend, American television anchor Dareth Chisholm, has been sentenced to 2 years in prison and fined $1 million. Donovan Powell turned to revenge porn after the woman ended their romantic relationship. He was sentenced yesterday afternoon in the Corporate Area Criminal Court 4 months after he pleaded guilty to 3 counts of malicious communication. The charges fall under Jamaica's Cybercrimes Act. Powell was sentenced to 1 year in prison at hard labor for counts 1 and 2 and ordered to pay a fine of $1 million or serve 4 months in prison. The sentences for counts 1 and 2 are to be served at the same time, meaning Powell will only serve 1 year. However, the 53-year-old man will not begin to serve the sentence immediately, as he has not been granted bail pending the outcome of an appeal against the penalty. Powell is represented by attorney Valerie Nita Robertson. Prosecutor Andrea Martin Swaby outlined in court that during the relationship between Powell and Chisholm, he captured nude pictures and videos of her without her consent. Martin Swaby, who is the Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, said when this relationship ended, Powell used the material to create sexually explicit videos. According to her, the videos and pictures were sent to Chisholm and posted to a website he created. Powell also threatened Chisholm that he would ruin her credibility and destroy her career. St. James Police charged 2 men with serious crimes. The St. James Police on Monday charged 2 men in relation to 2 separate offenses. The accused are 26-year-old Jonah Tongsin Young, otherwise called Tentroy, of New Road Flanker in St. James, and a 25-year-old Jermaine McFarlane, a labourer of Wiltshire District Anchovy, also in the parish. Young has been charged with illegal possession of a gun and ammunition and wounding with intent, while McFarlane was charged with housebreaking with intent and assault at common law. In the first incident, on Monday, December 25, 2018, at about 5:30 p.m., Young reportedly pounced upon a man in Flanker St. James and shot him several times. The police were alerted and the injured man was taken to the hospital for treatment. After an investigation into the incident, Young was arrested and placed on an identification parade where he was pointed out. In the second incident on Thursday, November 14, 2019, at about 2:20 p.m., 2 complainants securely locked their house and went away. They reportedly saw McFarlane inside their house upon their return. In a bid to escape, he allegedly attacked them with a knife. An alarm was raised and McFarlane was reportedly held by residents and handed over to the police. Following investigations, he was placed on an identification parade where he was pointed out by both complainants. Young and McFarlane are scheduled to appear in court at a date to be announced. Samuda calls teachers' behavior unacceptable. Minister with responsibility for education, youth and information, Carl Samuda, has ordered an investigation into an incident in which a teacher at the Pembroke Hall High School allegedly threatened a child with physical harm. The incident, which was captured on video, went viral on social media. It captures the teacher telling the student, "Me will murder you in this. That's a promise." Samuda said he is reminding teachers employed in the public education system that they are expected to act with professionalism and decorum while conducting classes, notwithstanding challenges dealing with difficult and/or uncooperative students. The behavior displayed is unacceptable. It has no place in our schools, Samuda said. Noting that teachers have a daily influence on the lives of children and are held to high standards, the minister said they are required to serve as strong role models and demonstrate ethical behaviors as they interact with students, colleagues, parents, and others. Parent arrested for assaulting staff at Mobay Primary School. The Jamaica Teachers Association JTA has expressed outrage at recent attacks against school administrators and teachers, urging parents and other stakeholders to use non-confrontational alternatives to settle disputes. The alarm came hours after a mother was arrested and charged by the St. James Police yesterday after she allegedly attacked and injured a teacher on the compound of the Coronaldi Avenue Primary School in Montego Bay. The accused parent is 29-year-old Jodian Dixon, a sales representative of Paradise Norwood, also in the parish. She has been charged with assault and occasioning bodily harm. Dixon was granted station bail in the sum of $50,000 and is booked to appear in the St. James Parish Court on January 15, 2020. I cannot at this time say whether the trend of parents assaulting teachers has increased or declined because I don't have a recent figure. But what I can say is that the assault on teachers and other members of the education system by parents must stop, said JTA President Owen Speed. There are systems and protocols in schools that deal with incidents such as these, where parents don't have to resort to violence, and I'm urging parents to take advantage of these systems and resources in order to avoid violent confrontation from taking place. Dixon is the second parent to be accused of teacher assault in Montego Bay in a week. On November 17, another parent and her teenage son were implicated in an attack on a student who was reportedly in a fight with her daughter. According to reports, after getting news that her daughter was involved in a fight with another student at the school, the mother and her son visited the institution. She reportedly behaved boisterously while her son attacked the child who had fought with his sister. The police were called in and the boy was arrested and charged with assault and occasioning bodily harm. He appeared in the Montego Bay Family Court last Thursday and was granted bail. His parents were ordered to get legal representation for him and have him returned to court on January 20, 2020. In yesterday's incident, which occurred shortly after 7 a.m., Dixon, who had just dropped off her daughter at school and left, was subsequently informed that the student got into a quarrel with another child. Dixon was cautioned by a teacher about her conduct but ignored the warning. Another teacher pulled out a cellular phone and started recording her behavior, which enraged the mother. She reportedly attacked the teacher and knocked the cell phone from her hand. Dixon was taken into custody and taken to the Barnett Street Police Station, where she was arrested and charged. We are under siege from parents up here. When they come and behave badly, we cannot talk or they'll physically attack us, a disgruntled teacher said on Friday. I tried my best to avoid them because I don't want anybody to kill me before time. The latest attack comes on the heels of an incident at Cornwall College last week. School principal Michael Ellis was forced to ditch his jacket after he was grabbed by an angry parent who demanded an explanation for his son's 10-day suspension. JP in trouble over flashing blue light siren on BMW X6. A St. Andrew-based Justice of the Peace, JP, has found himself in trouble with the law after a flashing blue light and siren were affixed to his BMW X6 in an effort to beat a traffic jam in New Kingston. Under the law, emergency lights are to be used only by the police, the Jamaica Fire Brigade, and ambulances. Blue lights are used by the police while other emergency services use red lights. But during a pileup in traffic in New Kingston last Wednesday, the grey BMW X6 with flashing blue light and siren was seen moving in and out of the line of vehicles on Knutsford Boulevard, causing motorists to pull over as its driver maneuvered on the busy roadway. The incident was captured on video by a motorist who passed it on to the police. Following an investigation, the police identified the owner of the vehicle as a JP of Worthington Avenue in New Kingston. This is what happens when members of the public share the information with us of breaches on the road. We have been getting videos and calls and we have investigated all of them. We urge the public to continue to share images and videos of errant motorists with us, an officer close to the investigation said. The police source said the JP, whose name has been withheld, told investigators that the flashing blue light and the siren were affixed to the vehicle by his driver. But that did not stop the police from removing the illegal items from the vehicle and issuing him a $2,500 ticket for aiding and abetting the colored light and the siren on a vehicle. The driver, who lives at Sandrington Avenue in Kingston, and whose name is also being withheld, was also issued a ticket for $2,500 for using a colored light and a siren on a vehicle. They are both scheduled to appear in the traffic court in Kingston on December 16. Following reports late last year that criminals were using unmarked vehicles with flashing blue lights as they embark on crime sprees, the police high command urged motorists to desist. Motorists who have modified their vehicles with flashing lights and/or sirens that imitate those used by authorized emergency vehicles, such as police vehicles, ambulances, and fire engines, are being warned to remove them immediately, said the High Command in a release. Motorists who ignore this warning to remove the devices will not only face inconvenience, but more so, the full brunt of the law, including the seizure of the vehicles to have them removed forthwith, the High Command added. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.